All right, welcome. Today we're going to run through the peer-to-peer platform that Reggie's been working on. This is a cross-chain settlement platform with complete self-custody without needing any third-party intermediary or any counterparty risk. Marco, better known as VE Test Uprising, Liam and myself have been testing this over the last few weeks, and today we're going to demo you a walkthrough and explain exactly how it works. So let's just jump right into it. So the other day I posted a video clip that I pulled from one of Reggie's videos saying IP that I own would be the cheapest, most effective way of transferring value available. And this is a platform that he was talking about. But before I get into it, there's three terms that I want to cover just so that everyone has a perfect understanding of what's going on here. So the first one is multi-party conditionals. And this relates to Reggie's patents. And these are cryptographic protocols letting multiple parties reveal a shared secret to a referee solely if private inputs meet a condition without leaking extra information. Essentially what's happening here is whenever you submit your intent and somebody finds it on the public bulletin board and is ready to claim it, the two of you enter a private room where you're sharing partial keys that allow you into this room, but it doesn't actually leak any extra information about you or the person you're dealing with. All right, the second term we're going to go over is HTLC, hash time locked contracts. And hash refers to transactions, and time lock puts a timer on the smart contract that should anything get stuck or cancel, assets revert back to the original wallets. This is again another part of Reggie's patents, and this is what removes the middleman from transactions, where you don't need to trust your counterparty, or you don't even need to know them, because this contract here will allow both of you to essentially put your funds in an escrow, and once all conditions are met, the transaction is either settled or, should anything go wrong, all funds or assets revert back to the original wallets. And our third term is oracles. And oracles are third-party services that facilitate trading across blockchains. The 566 patent family replaces oracles with an internal facilitator that retrieves data and enforces conditions via multi-signatures and blockchain rules. So again, this is another part of Reggie's patents that removes this third-party service and allows people to trade or facilitate trades across blockchains without, again, needing a third-party or middleman. All three of these terms and a few others, such as tokenization of Apple stock and a stablecoin US dollar, were all shown in this proof of concept video, a simple Apple trade using a pure Bitcoin wallet with Reggie Middleton and Matt Bogosian. And of course, this was done in July of 23 of 2014. And there's a QR code there if you want to check out the video. And just a little bit more context so everyone understands just how big of a deal this is. We have three images here. On the left, we have centralized, which has a central point of failure right there in the middle. And in the middle image, we have decentralized, which obviously is much better than centralization, but there are still central points of failure. You can see some of these dots here. And as an example, we have decentralized exchanges or DEXs. Whenever you trade assets, especially across chain, you have a middleman or third party that facilitates this trade for you, which of course is another central point of failure. On the right, we have distributed. These are all nodes that talk to each other. And if one node or even several nodes go down, the rest of the nodes basically preserve the network, removing any central point of failure. All right, now we're going to jump into the demo of a peer-to-peer intent settlement. We have Marco, VE Test Uprising, acting as the maker, and we have Liam acting as the taker. And the three of us are going to jump on a verified interview and describe this in more detail, so watch out for that video. But yeah, let's just jump right into the demo.
Up at the top here, we've got our wallet information. So I've got some test Bitcoin and test USDC in here. And then down through the interface, we see the from and to amounts here. So for this demo, we're going to, the from part of the transaction will be this test Bitcoin, and the to part will be the USDC. And so I, as the maker of this, can set up the parameters of the transaction how I want. So we're going to make this a unique number here so that it's a little easier to see these values. 1155. So what this is saying is I, as the maker, want to broadcast an intent to the public square. That's this little address here. So what Reggie calls this is the public square. This is where the makers and the takers will come together, seeking each other for a deal. And so I'm going to broadcast my intent to exchange quad 06566 BTC for 11.55 USDC. And so I will go ahead and click broadcast intent. And we see some things happen right away. This is the hello broadcast. So this notifies anyone monitoring this address. Okay, we've got an intent out here. An intent was sent by a maker for quad 06566 BTC to 11.55 USDC. We see we've received none here. If some other maker were to broadcast, we would see their intents show up here. And then the other component to this then is we see by this broadcasting the intent action, the maker has established a P2P channel and now is out here. He's got his topic and there's one intent active out here. And so at this point, the maker has publicized or broadcast their intent and they're waiting for a taker to come along and take it. So I've done what I can as a maker. Now I would essentially, since the model here, I'm a maker and seek of a taker. I don't know the taker, but I've submitted my intent. Now I kick back and wait for a taker to come in. So for our demo purposes, I'll turn it over to Liam, and he's going to serve the role of our taker.
For clarity first, this window on the right-hand side is a completely different machine in a different part of the world, as both Mark and I are at different parts, different states in the United States. So here I am browsing. Say I started my morning, had a cup of coffee. I'm all about filling my bags with Bitcoin. And I see here that, look at that, somebody's selling some Bitcoin. And they want $11.55 in USDC. So I check my balance and I see I've got enough to do it. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that. And you can see here the same values. A little warning here to let you know that once you confirm, the maker will create the HTLC contract and broadcast the funding transaction. This action cannot be undone. It's like, okay. So I'll go ahead and confirm and proceed.
And from the maker's side now, I immediately see after that taker performed their transaction, look what happened here. Okay, the maker, me, somebody has accepted my terms. So they liked the deal that I put out, the intent, and they took the first steps toward it. I can actually go look at their funding transaction that they broadcasted. And this will bring up the Bitcoin network contract that transaction lives in. So we know it's real. And so now I've got somebody on the line, so to speak, and I want to proceed ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and open the swap. And the informational pop-up tells me that I'm about to call the open function on the HTLC swap smart contract. This will make the swap active and allow the taker to claim it by depositing that taker's USDC. So I'm putting my Bitcoin in the smart contract and the taker will put their USDC in, but we still have full control over our coins and tokens until the swap is finalized. So at any point along the way, either party can bail out and the funds will be returned to their wallet. But in this case, I want to proceed ahead. So I can click open the swap and it will open up MetaMask to where I can sign that transaction, confirm it here. And we see when that happens now, Okay, there it took. We see the swap has been opened, and we see another pop out there. We could actually go look at that swap if we choose. We are in the test environment, so this isn't effective, but when it obviously goes to the production environment, we'll see the real data out here. And so the swap's open, and now the ball, so to speak, is back in the taker's court. So we'll hand off back to Liam.
So yeah, then I come back and I notice I see a claim swap is popped up over here. So it looks like it's my opportunity to go ahead and follow through on this transaction. So I click on it, and you can see a swap ID. We have a little detail of what's happening, and a little notice here that says this will initiate the two-step transaction flow, token approval followed by claim. Please confirm both transactions in your wallet. So I go ahead and claim the swap. My MetaMask pops up on another screen here. So, and gives me the opportunity to go ahead and confirm the request for the contract. I get another pop-up here that says transaction request. Let's confirm that as well.
Okay, so we see the maker over here. He doesn't know Liam, right? He just knows, well, the taker claimed the swap. This is good news. Again, I can go look at that transaction and see that transaction out there. We see, oh, there's the 1155 USDC, in this case USDV because it's a test coin. But so now we're ready. I could still at this point depart the transaction and both sides funds would be returned, but I'm interested in finalizing it. So I go ahead and click the finalize swap, and I get the message here that says, you're about to call the finalize function on the HTLC swap smart contract. This will reveal the pre-image on chain, allowing the taker to claim their Bitcoin. And then another informational here talking about how Liam's already deposited his USDC. So when I finalize this, he'll get the Bitcoin and I'll get the USDC, and we'll be consummated in our deals. So I go ahead and click it and get MetaMask to pop up. Once I sign this transaction request, we're done. Swap's been finalized. You can actually go out and again look at that swap, that finalized swap, and check the details. But at this point, we're past the point of no return. If I were to go look in my wallet, I'll have the USDC, and Liam would have the Bitcoin. So that's the current state of the MVP of Reggie's value transfer platform.
So that is just one example of the P2P platform that Reggie is working on. Of course, this is a cross-chain settlement using BTC and USDC, where they're both settled on their own native blockchains. And of course, this is done without any third-party intermediary or any counterparty risk. And you can access this through your activated SmartMetal NFT round. And I hope to see this opening up to the public after that. But SmartMetal round holders are going to get first dibs on testing the platform. And from the sounds of it, Reggie's working on some AI agents that may be embedded in the SmartMetal rounds. So keep an eye out for that. Also keep an eye out for some other interesting tests that we've been working on. I'm actually pretty excited to show you this. I'm going to break it up into a bunch of bite-sized videos so it's a little bit easier to digest. But yeah, we have a bunch of other examples of how this platform can be used on, again, a peer-to-peer level without any middleman or intermediary. Pretty excited what we're working on. So just a reminder, this video is completely sponsored by you. I seriously can't thank you guys enough for all your support. It's been overwhelming, and I really do appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And of course, I added the paid promotions button to this video because I do actually talk about the Veri SmartMetal Silver Rounds quite a bit. But this is a complete 100% volunteer effort. We're all putting in all this time to help raise money to support Reggie and his R&D in building out this peer-to-peer platform. So if you'd like to learn more about the Veri SmartMetal Silver Rounds, visit the veridao.io website. Thank you all again, and I'll see you guys next time.